Here we go. How you doing, Justin? What's going on, bro?
Wrapping up a day, autograph signing in Lancaster. Appreciate it. Big place, Clay.
Anytime, man. Appreciate the ride.
Yep. Go Birds, baby.
How was the ring ceremony, dude?
Well done.
It was unbelievable. It was like, honestly, just like, we waited so long to receive those rings, but obviously we have to wait.
Yeah. How many times have you popped the wings on it?
I popped it a bunch. So I honestly, I'm probably done now, so I don't break it. But no,
The wings are the coolest part.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best part.
Yeah,
by far. It's just like the whole design of the ring is amazing. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
What's going on, Eagles Nation? Your boy Justin. I'm here with Dallas Goddard, our starting tight end. Dallas, how does it feel to be here at the 4th annual Devontae Smith Celebrity Softball Game today?
It's a blast to be here. Got a great group of guys to help put on a show for the incredible crowd that's out there right now. So just super excited. As always, go Birds, baby.
Go Birds, baby. Appreciate you.
What's going on, Justin? What's going on?
Appreciate that intro. What's going on, my man Jay? How you doing?
So, did you like the surprise with the intro?
Yeah, dude, that was awesome. I sent you the videos and the clips, and I was not expecting that to be put together that quick. That was pretty legit. I appreciated that.
That's dope. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed that, brother. I'm glad. Well, we're here today. We're gonna interview ourselves. I'll let you reintroduce yourself for the second time. Yesterday we brought you on the live, but let everybody know who you are.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity, Jay, to hop on the show. My name is Justin Fiorillo. On Instagram, you can find me Justin_Fiorillo 94. And I do Philadelphia Eagles content. I am a fan. I do not work for the Philadelphia Eagles yet. Hopefully, that would be a dream job of mine, obviously. But I do all my content from a fan's perspective. And I've been doing content for only about the past 6 or 7 months, actually.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope. You definitely, like I've told you before, it looks like you've been doing it much longer. You look like you work for the Eagles. As close as you're getting to these players, as many signings as you're attending, as many events you're at every Hot Eagles event. You're everywhere, man. That's all I could say. Give us a little bit about your background, where you grew up at. Give us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was actually born in the Lehigh Valley. I'm not from Philadelphia. I actually have plans, though, right now to move towards the city, actually. I'm planning to move towards Philadelphia here in the near future. But I was born in the Lehigh Valley. I grew up going to training camp for the Philadelphia Eagles at Lehigh University. And I actually went to Pottsville High School in Schuylkill County is where I went to high school. But I'm from the Lehigh Valley. I currently live there as well right now. They actually had Devontae Smith Celebrity Softball Game up here a few months ago, so it was a short commute for me. They have a lot of Eagle events. We're definitely an Eagles country up here. But I'm from Lehigh Valley. I graduated from Kutztown, a sports management major. Big, Philadelphia sports fan my whole life. Obviously, been going to Eagle games since I was a kid. And I'm a 4-for-4 Philly sports fan. But certainly, if I absolutely had to pick, I would say that my most passionate team is certainly the Eagles. And I've just been just everything to do with them since I was a kid. In fact, funny story, my first word ever, my parents, they'll attest to this, was football.
Wow.
Yeah, my first word was not like mama or dada or anything like that. It was honestly football. Apparently, my family's a huge football nut family, and they said that my first word was football. So I just kind of grew up. I think I was destined to be something involved with it. Yeah.
Now, is your father a big Eagles fan?
Oh yeah. That's like I said, I would not have my first word being football if I didn't grow up as a kid hearing him go crazy on Sundays in the house watching Eagle games.
So he's the main one.
Yeah, he's the main one. Took me to games growing up. I went to the NFC Championship game with him last year. I'm going to the Rams game this week with him, actually. So we still obviously go to games. He does not go to all the events I go to, obviously, in the signings, but I've been fortunate enough to give him the invite to go to some of them, and he'll never say no if he's able to go.
That's cool. So you and him definitely bond over Eagles football overall. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to have that kind of relationship. Yeah.
Nice. Now, you had mentioned something to me about the pretzel company. I want you to talk a little bit about that. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, Jay. So I used to own and operate a Philly pretzel factory franchise for 5+ years in the York County area. I actually just recently sold it this past year to pursue more opportunities in my passion,
Nice.
which is sports, content creating, social media, the Eagles, athletics, and whatnot, and also personal training, which I will get into as well, which I'm a
Hmm.
trainer. But yeah, basically to segue off, like you mentioned with my dad as well, when I graduated college a few years ago at Kutztown University, I was a sports management major, and I always had a passion for. I thought I always wanted to find myself in business. And we had a long conversation, my dad and I, one day about taking a risk and investing in one of our favorite products, our favorite places that we went to growing up, which was the Philly Pretzel Factory. We had one in our hometown, and I just loved the pretzels. I loved the product. We took a risk. We invested. We built the store from scratch, and it was the best 5 years of my life. We had a
Wow.
successful store. We did a lot of stuff in the community with the schools, with the offices, with the workplaces, and whatnot. We were very sports Philly themed. I would make eagle shaped pretzels, Lombardi trophies. Like just use your imagination. I would do all
Yeah,
types. I've had a wall of fame with sports players and stuff like that. I tried to get some signings to happen in the very end stages of things, but just couldn't work out towards the end. But yeah, I just that's a long story very short. Is I did own and operate a Philly pretzel factory, and we just sold it this past year.
that's cool. I just wanted to bring that up. That's something personally I know about you that you shared with me. A lot of people don't know that. Some people know, but it's cool. The bodybuilding. That's another thing. So you're always locked in. So one thing, you mostly post, I would say, mostly Eagles content, but you sneak in your motivational bodybuilding content. I see you doing your sets. You bodybuild with weights. I see you doing calisthenics, which is extremely impressive at your size. So tell us about that, bro. What's up with that?
I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, I have a passion for fitness as well. That started back in high school. The old P90X Insanity days. I don't know if you remember those
Oh, I
old.
remember
Yeah,
P90X. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
videos and that. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
that.
bro. So I just remember being a high school kid. I had all my hormones going and stuff, and I just I was hitting puberty. I'm like, I wanted to find this way to use this energy, and I found these workout videos, and I started doing P90X, and I got hooked, and I did the 90 days, and I saw the results, and I really got into it. But then I also had some setbacks and hurdles in my life. I don't know if you know this. I broke my leg when I was at college, and had to
Oh
learn
my
to
God.
almost walk
Wow.
again. Yeah, and
Oof.
put on a bunch of
Wow.
weight. I was on crutches and a boot and all that. So then I got out of it, and then I kind of transformed my fitness journey and got back into shape, and then I started competing in some natural bodybuilding shows. But really,
Nice.
I just have a passion for being in the gym because it gives me kind of a purpose, like an energy. It kind of makes me feel like I'm doing something meaningful with my existence here on this planet. That I'm putting in some work that I love to do, that's meaningful, that has an end result that I'm happy about. And it's also a really good stress reliever. That's the number one thing, is I love being in the gym to get my mind off a lot of the stresses of course, when I had the business, day-to-day stresses of things like that, of just trying to run an independent business, which I do right now for my own self. And
Nice.
I do a lot of my montages and my thinking of content and videos when I'm actually at the gym, listening to music and just letting my kind of my mind and my body move.
Nice. So the gym is like where you get your creativity from, where you
Yeah,
lock in.
yeah. That's where
I
a lot of
remember.
my even the funny stuff, not even always the inspirational, even the
Yeah.
goofy memes with the
Yeah.
funny
Yeah.
eagle
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff. A lot of times after a hard sprint on the treadmill or something, and I can think more clear. So I kind of think of those
That's what's
things when
up.
I'm at the gym. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you posted one day like this is something I don't want to do every day. I don't want to. It's not something I necessarily look forward to every day, but it's
No.
something that I know I need, that I know
Yeah.
is gonna self improve me every day. So I really remember that every time I get lazy and stuff. I remember Justin said, "This is not something you want to do. You got to push yourself."
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I don't. Who wants to work out? It's not.
Yeah,
It does.
everybody. Yeah,
It's painful. It's not fun.
yeah. It's not painful. It's
But
pain.
yeah, but I think when it also, it's that you got to go through X to get through what to get Y, and it's just I think I crave the end result more than I focus and hate the pain of working out.
That's good. Yeah, I remember BG asked you. BG said something about your stature one time. I know you got that off out. That was a good one too. So that's
Yeah,
good. So bodybuilding keeps you locked in. Gym keeps you locked in. That's what's up. That's what's up, bro. Um, what was the moment? I know you got into content creation. First of all, before the content creation, let's tell everybody you were already going to signings. You were already getting videos personally.
yeah,
You just
yeah,
weren't posting them. You just where
yeah,
did you
yeah.
have
So
the
like my
epiphany to
camera
do it?
roll. Great question. My camera roll was already filled with content and experiences and going to games all my life and all that. So I had stuff, but I started making content on March 7th this past year.
Wow.
Yeah, I can give you the exact day and time, actually. I went down to the Philly show this past March, and I bought a ticket to meet Big Dom DeSandro, Big Dom. And I went up to Big Dom, and I took this video where I went up to him. I put my phone out like this. And by the way, at my time, my Instagram had like 20-something followers. I had a couple pictures of just me and like one Pretzel Factory post. And it was my personal Instagram. Nobody knew who I was. I go to this Philly show as a fan, and I take this video with Big Dom. I'm like, from an Italian to Italian. Nice to meet you, my man. Where's your favorite place to get a bite to eat in Philadelphia? And he gave me a restaurant, Aroma on Third. By the way, great food. Went there a few days later. Great time. I posted
Nice.
it. I go to bed. I wake up. It has like 130 likes, 50,000 views, and then it just kept growing. And I'm like, what is this? Like, this is nuts. Like, it was just this funny interaction. I'm like, I thought it was kind of funny, but I didn't not expect it to get this reaction online, right?
Yeah.
And then from that moment on, Jay, I was hooked to realize I'm like, wow, well, if this interaction with Big Dom got like this type of reaction, like, well, I have this video in my phone when I ran out the tunnel at the Eagle Stadium. I should post that. And I posted that, and then I'm like, well, wait a second. I held the flag at the one game too. I should post holding the flag. And then I was like, but also I was lucky enough to do that signing with that one player. I should post a picture of me and Saquon or something.
Yeah.
And then more likes will come in and more. And then I found myself suddenly loving to do content creation. Yeah.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I woke up on March 8th after I posted that video with Big Dom, and it kind of went mildly viral overnight, and it made me kind of like inspired to just open up my phone. And then all the events post March 7th that you see live on Instagram and whatnot, and the picture right there with Saquon, that was on November. That was actually a day after he broke the rushing record against the Rams in the regular season.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, so that was a day after that signing. But all the content creation from March 7th after that Philly show when I met Big Dom on has been inspired from that day when I went down there and did that. And then I actually went to the restaurant and I met the chef of the place he told me to go. And the chef knew Big Dom since he was a kid. And I ended up getting to make connections through like him and like people that knew the Eagles organization through the restaurant that he recommended me to. They followed me from there, and it just kind of was a snowball effect, you know. It just kept building from there.
That is an amazing story. It's almost like it happened by accident in a weird way. It's almost like it naturally happened. Like you didn't intentionally want to do this. It just happened.
No, and well, I'll tell you another thing, Jay, is I obviously sold the store this past February, but I didn't sell the store to go do content creation. It just
Mhm.
kind of gave me more time where I mean, when I had the pretzel shop, as an owner of a franchise, I don't really feel like I had the time to do Philadelphia Eagles content, obviously. But once I sold the store, I felt like I had more time to go to all these events and stuff, and
Absolutely.
that's why you see the schedules of my months and my months out and all that is just I have more time now. So
Yeah. Now, I will notice one thing. Players, when you approach players, they're all smiles. Scott, our other co-host on the show, made this point after you got off the show. They always smile. You seem to get the best energy out of players. Like, what is it that you do? Do you every player? Do you study them? Do you think about what you're gonna say to them? Do you naturally just go up to them? Like, what goes on in your mind?
I would like to think without coming off as a braggadocious way that I have a really good knack for reading kind of the room, reading people, reading vibes, matching vibes. Um, like I'll give you an example. I met Deshaun Jackson just within this past week for the first time in my life. And Deshaun
Okay.
Jackson, I have it on video. I did not really talk to him too much because he was the whole time, even before I went up to him to get an autograph, he was just on his phone just looking at the scores of the end. It was NFL Sunday, so he was looking at all the scores of the NFL Sunday, and he wasn't even like acknowledging me and stuff. And like, he's like, I love Deshaun Jackson. It's nothing personal, right? But like, I wasn't going to, bother him, ruffle his feathers, kind of ask him too many questions then because I could read the room. So I just said, "You're a legend." He looked up, said, "Appreciate you," and it's a very short interaction. Got a
Yeah.
photo, walked away. But there's other players where when I go up to them, I could just tell like they're people, and if I'm just myself to them, and if I just say something that also a lot of times maybe your friend might have mentioned is like there's also substantive content to what I'm saying to each situation as well. If I'm at for example, when I met Howie Roseman for the second time. It was 3 days, I think, before the draft. So I went up to him and I said, "I don't know what, but we know you got something cooking up your sleeve up there, And
Howie season.
and how he sees it. And he knew he was going to probably, and he did. He drafted an amazing Jaha Campbell. I mean, he drafted him. He knew he was going to make a great move. And if you watch the video and really slow it down, he kind of smirks at it. So, like, I just thought he's the freaking general manager of the Eagles. He's the only person literally who knows who's going to draft. I can kind of have a fun kind of. I know you
Yeah,
got something cooking up
yeah.
your sleeve.
So you do read the room and you
I
do
read
feel
the
the energy.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I read the
You
situation.
know,
Who am I
yeah.
talking to? What can I say? When I met Reed Blankenship, I said
Oh,
from
that
one
was funny. Oh, that was
from
funny.
one exciting white to another. And I
Yeah,
think of these things like when I'm in the line at the signing. Sometimes I'll think what can I say on my little? I'll take my left hand. I almost practice it like I'm going to record with my left hand, and then what can I say to this person because I only get a few seconds of interaction time with them. So.
that's true. That's true. Now, when you actually made Reed laugh, that was funny. When Reed heard you, he just chuckled. I watched that video plenty of times.
Yeah.
Have you always collected? Like, what got you into collecting? When did the collecting start? Like, or when did the autograph
Yeah.
session
No,
start?
no,
Was
not
it?
always. Good question. I did not always collect. I started collecting when I had the pretzel shop. That's a big thing right here. So I made a very big connection, Jay, at when I had the Philly Pretzel Factory with the owners of Sports Unleashed in York County. They are
Wow.
a sports memorabilia shop. They're a huge store inside the York County Mall, the York Galleria Mall, that is. And they actually host player signings. But I got to know the guy at the pretzel shop, and I would donate pretzels to his daughter's, high school, basketball games and softball games and whatnot. And through my donation and supply of pretzels, they became very good friends with me. It wasn't even just business. I became very good friends with them, and I would then be trusted and helped with. Sometimes I drive the player. I drove Slay to the signing. I would work with
Yep.
signings for other players. They had Brandon Graham there, so I actually would work in the back room with Brandon. Yeah, there.
There
That
you go,
was,
Slayer.
if you were gonna ask me, like, okay, what's like the craziest thing you maybe ever did? That might be it in my
That
life.
might be it, right? Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Let's cut into that real quick. We'll get into the rest of the
Okay,
collection. Yeah, cut into the ride with Slay.
yeah, that was nuts. So the guy from Sports Unleashed called me about 2 or 3 days before it happened. The signing happened on St. Patrick's Day of the 2024 was the signing, and it was BG and Slay at the Park City Mall in Lancaster. And the guy from Sports Unleashed called me about 2 or 3 days out, and he said, "Hey, are you alone right now? What are you doing?" And he was like hyping. He was like, you could tell he was like all giddy, like what? He goes, "You want to pick up Big Play Slay and take him to the signing this weekend?" I go,
Oh wow.
"Dude, what? What? Can you repeat that
Right.
again?" He goes, "You want to pick up Big?" I'm like, "Yes, of course, of course." So once the shock went away and stuff, I was like, "All right." So I went down. They gave me the directions. The agent he gave me the agent's number, and the agent texted me, and I picked him up at the Marriott outside the Lincoln Philly. And I mean, I could tell you, I don't want to ramble on forever about this, but I could tell you, it was incredible. I mean, I was so nervous on my way to pick him up. I was, very, very nervous. When I met him, he was a really nice guy, super chill, had his hood up, and he was literally like this when he got in the back seat of my car. And within the first 2 to 3 minutes, dude, he literally slumps down like this and he falls asleep. He's like this in the back seat
Tired.
of my car. Yeah, he was tired. I picked him up at like
Yeah.
I want to say 9:30 or 10 a.m. and he was so tired. He had like his hood up. He might even had sunglasses on for that split second. He
Yeah.
was so tired. I was still very nervous, but then like 15 minutes in, he kind of woke up and I was playing the radio. We started talking a little bit. Um, and we go to the signing. It was just the whole day was just surreal. Um, he was really, really good, nice to me, nice to all the fans. But then on the ride back, we really started talking and opening up a lot more. And I asked him a lot of questions that, like, I it was just like if you were just like, okay, you're in a ride with like this the starting Eagles player, go ahead, ask him questions. And like those were like the questions I was thinking of. Like I was like, who are the toughest receivers to guard in the league, or like
Yeah. Yeah.
who's an underrated receiver? And he told me Mike Evans, and I was like, give me your top five receivers in the league, and he had Smitty and AJ Brown, his boys, in the top five. He was asking me. We were talking about the Hall of Fame. We were listening to like sports talk radio in the car, and some guy was talking about the Hall of Fame. And I'm driving the car. I'm like, "Hey man, I think you could be a Hall of Fame player." And he goes, "You think? I just need a ring though. I need that ring." And this was before he won the Super Bowl with us.
This was before.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was before. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
This is mid season, right? Because this is like mid season, right?
this was
Or was
the
it
off
before the
season.
season?
Yeah, this was the off season after. Remember the famous 2023 collapse when they collapsed and they
Yes,
blew up?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Well, when that season ended, this was the like first month after that like Super Bowl season
Okay.
ended.
Got
Yeah.
it, got it, got it. So
But
that's what he was fresh off the Super Bowl loss and freaking what he's
yeah.
looking for that.
Yeah, but he was a really nice guy, funny guy. Certainly I'll tell you what, I thought when I was driving down to pick him up, we on the way down, like because it was an hour and a half drive from Philly to the signing, and then an hour and a half from the signing back to Philly. And on the hour
Right.
and a half back, we talked a lot. But I thought that like we would talk a lot more on the way up, but we didn't. He was tired. He fell asleep. He wasn't really that much in like conversation at the time. But on the ride back is when a lot of the cool like questions were brought up. I asked him what he thought of the Vic Fangio hire because at that point they just got him as the defensive coordinator, and I remember he told me just specifically quote, "It's all right." That's what he said.
It's all
Um,
right. It
it's all
ended up
right.
being
He
pretty
didn't say
all
it like
right.
he didn't say it like negative, but he
Yeah,
said it
like
like
regular.
it's regular. Yeah, like he goes,
Yeah.
it's like it's all right. Like he was just chill. Like he was almost like listening to the music. Like it's all right.
And it ended up being one of the best things that's happened in Philadelphia ever. So back to your friend. So your friend from the memorabilia store, he really got you like he really got you in the loop here.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit and thanks to him. He did. He especially with those two signings specifically. Yeah, he did, and I guess you could all the pretzels I gave him. I guess was the big thank you, but he definitely did, and he's somebody I still stay in touch with. I don't live in the area anymore. I don't have the shop. And they're working on signings. I know, but they haven't been able to do one at least in the last couple months here. So they're working on the next one. I would like to still be involved. But I still stay in touch with them. But yeah, give them a lot of credit. They're the nicest people. They run a great shop. They do a lot of great stuff.
That's cool. So what's their name again? You said in York Mall? What is it?
Sports Unleashed. Yes.
Sports Unleashed. Nice, 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 nice. Now, you've met a lot of players, man. Who's your favorite player to meet?
Well, if I'm being kind of superficial, I guess like Saquon Barkley, right? Like
Okay.
Saquon Barkley. But really, my favorite player is Brandon Graham.
Brandon Graham. And
It's
you
Brandon
seem to have a
Graham because
relationship with Brandon Graham. Like he
yes,
seems to
yeah.
pretty much know you at this point.
Well, he
Not to
follows me.
toot your
He
horn, he
follows me now.
freaking follows you. He knows you.
Yeah,
Like,
he follows me now, which
yeah,
was one of the coolest moments of my Eagle fandom life. Maybe
that's
was
dope.
he followed me about I want to say about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I got the little notification. I first met BG at a signing through Sports Unleashed when I was just getting to know the guys. I actually paid money to buy a ticket to meet Brandon at this signing, and this was about 2 years ago. And I went to meet him, and like you might have brought up earlier, the very first thing he ever said to me, the first I met him like 12 times, but the first time I ever met him was, "Man, you look like you be in the gym." And I have it actually on video too. I never posted because it's
Yeah,
kind of a grainy, kind of zoomed out
yeah,
video. But
yeah, yeah. That's
ever
funny.
since then, I just kind of we've had this kind of. I was just a fan, and I'm obviously still a fan. But when they brought BG in, with the picture you see right there, that's a Sports Unleashed. When they brought him in for the signing there, and I actually got to actually work with him like for like hours and be backstage with him and stuff, is when we actually developed like a relationship kind of. And I asked him a lot of questions, posted a lot of these questions, made a lot of content with them. That picture you see right there, he actually liked it. If you go to the photo, you see it says liked by Sack55 and others. He posted that picture on his story. We had a good time. I seem to have made him laugh. I made him laugh actually a lot of times in our encounters. Most recently at the tailgate in the park event, which I'm sure you saw down at Dorney Park. He was there riding roller coasters and stuff, and I was there with
Yeah,
him for
yeah, that was recent. Yeah.
I was there with him for a promotional event, and I told him he was in the roller coaster thing, putting the testing on, and he couldn't get the thing over him. He was a big guy, he couldn't get the thing fitted on. I'm like, hey, if like Darren Sproles was in there, like little Mighty Mouse, he'd slide in there
He
no
just
problem.
pop
Oh,
in
he was laughing so hard at that, bro, and
He got a good laugh too. The
yeah.
laugh you could hear his laugh a minute away.
Yeah, yeah, but he's the nicest guy. He's such a good guy, such a humble guy. Um, it doesn't matter who the fan is, what they're saying to him, how they're acting when they're by him. He is. I've seen him interact with 1,000 freaking fans. He is
Little
like
BG right
literally,
here.
dude. He's the real deal. He's yeah. That's nice.
That's the
That's
man right
Where'd you
there.
get that?
I've got those on Foco. I'm like me. You see behind me, I have a collection problem too.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
over the
Hey,
years, so I have a lot of
we
them
need to talk
because
about that for a second. Yeah,
oh yeah,
what's up?
yeah. Over here, yeah, I just got a bunch of things I've compiled over the years. I've been collecting since I was a child, but not particularly Eagle stuff. I started collecting Eagle stuff maybe 2017, 2016, like
Okay,
around maybe when we drafted Carson Wentz. So I got back into card collecting. So I ended up buying a bunch of Carson Wentz cards. Didn't work out. I just stood collecting cards. So I stopped combining cards. I got a lot of Jalen Hurts. I got some rookies back there autographed. I
nice.
got a bunch of stuff. I've kind of slowed down because it's like I'm almost out of space. I don't really have space in here no more. I need a bigger display, but I have tons of stuff in boxes too. It's
What's
like
your favorite piece in your collection?
favorite piece of my collection is probably this Jason Kelsey bobblehead. And the reason why it is because I kind of missed the opportunity to get it when it first dropped and it got really expensive on eBay. So I ended
It's
up a
in the
couple
outfit. Look at
yeah,
that. Look at.
this was in the Murmur's outfit. So it got expensive. They're limited. They're all limited. This is to $9.99. And I couldn't get it. And it always bummed me because I never got it at retail. And then one day it popped up on eBay. A guy with no box, he had it at a decent price, and I snagged it. So it was just something that I thought I would never buy because if you look on eBay, they're definitely a lot of money. Definitely nowhere near retail because it's the original one. Over
Sure.
there, I have a couple of extra ones of him in different murmurs. I got him holding big one, mini one. It's a ton. It's a ton, bro. It's a lot.
That's awesome. Well, I've never actually been to the event, but I know he has that big Ocean Drive event down at the beach
Hmm.
every year. Dude,
Yep.
maybe me and you got to get down there. You got to bring that with, and he has to sign that.
Yes, yes, I have a bunch of Kelsey's one of my guys. So I have a ton of Kelsey stuff, a ton of Kelsey. He's one of my all-time favorite Eagles. He was my favorite Eagle up until he retired. It's crazy. My a center was my favorite player.
No, you know what? He is kind of Philadelphia, especially with that speech he gave. He kind of
Right.
embodies what the spirit of Philadelphia is, honestly.
Yeah, so I don't have it here, but I had it hung up onto the right. I have the speech signed by him too. It says "Hungry dogs run faster." Bro, that
The
speech
best.
radiates. I could watch that right now, and it's gonna radiate through me like the first day I saw it.
I know. Chills,
It's cool.
chills.
Now, speaking of favorite players, who's your favorite Eagle of all time?
Well, Brandon Graham, but because of the obviously the obvious.
Let's say I asked you about a
Yeah,
meat player. Like, let's say overall,
yeah,
like just
yeah.
overall, even when I was a kid watching them on
Sure,
who's your
it's an
favorite
easy
Eagle?
answer. It's Brian Dawkins.
Brian Dawkins.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's the reason why I'm an Eagles fan. Over there's a whole Dawkins section. I wish I could. I got. It's too much to move right now, but go ahead.
Well, I'll keep it short. I mean, Brian Dawkins is Philadelphia. He's passion. He's passion unleashed. I mean, he Brian Dawkins is more to me than like just a player. He's like just like he's a spirit that'll just like never die. Like,
Mhm.
he's such a legend, man. Like he just he laid it all out there. He first of all, he should never have been a Bronco. He should always have been an Eagle. That's whatever. But you can't hate the man for just having such a heart to want to play the freaking game of football, to just do whatever he had to
Yeah.
do. But he's my favorite player. I mean, he left it all out there. He was a hard hitting, heck of an athlete, heck of a player. Made some of the craziest, most acrobatic plays I ever remember. He would fly all over the field. He was a leader. He he was intimidating. And what my favorite thing about him was he didn't curse. He was like a religious man. He would
Very
like say
Christian
dog. He
man.
would say like doggone it and stuff like that. He would never curse, but he had like this harness, like
Hallelujah.
yeah, right. He had like this harness, beast. It was like that he just kept inside, and then he would transform into Weapon X. He had like this alter ego, and
Two
he would
lockers.
two literally, like not like a fake, like,
Literally.
oh, like literally, like they actually,
Wait.
some janitor had to come clean out the second locker, I guess. Like literally, and he would crawl
Literally.
out. I mean, so when you just combine all that crap, I mean, he's easily my favorite player. I mean, he just was so inspiring to watch. I've made montages on my page just dedicated solely to him, just because he inspires me, and like I've literally spent hours cropping and editing little clips together I find of him and putting it to music because I'm that kid again when he's inspiring. He's Brian Dawkins.
Yeah, the Eagles haven't matched that type of player. I would say a player who's came close to him as far as leadership, maybe it was Malcolm Jenkins. Malcolm Jenkins was similar type, but still wasn't dog. To this day,
Sure.
there hasn't been a player that beat dog. Brandon Graham is pretty close as far as intensity and then just trash talk and intimidation, but Brian Dawkins was already in his opponent's head before the game started.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I
And
agree.
and
And
he would be flagged a lot now if he played too. He would be getting fines and all because he was laying legal hits, but they was just really hard. Like he was jumping on folks and flying everywhere. But he's the reason I became an Eagles fan back in 2002. Like I just stuck with him. He's my favorite player because I'm not from Philadelphia. I'm from New York and I grew up in New York. I live in North Jersey now, but he just always been my guy. Like it's just always been and it just always stuck. So I grew up around Giants fans, Jets fans, and I always attest him as my favorite player, and it'll always
Yeah.
be like that. So that's cool. I didn't even know that was your favorite player, honestly. That's
Yeah.
dope, bro. That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
That's
That's
dope.
cool. Yeah. And I'm sure your story's similar to a lot of other Eagle fans who just grew up and just gravitated towards the team because of guys like him.
Yeah, because they weren't, they were doing good. Remember the three straight NFC championship losses?
Yeah.
Those were some real, like that's why I posted it. It feels so good to be an Eagles fan nowadays because I remember year after year just, and when I was younger, I used to take losses much harder. Like, nah, I'm an adult. They lose, they lose. I'll be a little angry, a little pissed off, but I'm not gonna. It doesn't radiate through me throughout the day. That when those were years of trash talk and hearing no rings. It sucked being an Eagles fan at one point because it was like we got no rings. The Giants got rings. Cowboys got rings. We were just
Yeah.
ringless. We have
Yeah.
nothing. So
Yeah.
now we seem to be on top of the world. The last, let's say, 8 to 10 years, even more than that. You can go back 20 seasons, and they just always been there. Playoff team,
Yeah.
the top five in playoff wins for the last 2 decades. They're
Yeah.
just, they are who they are. Let's go. Let's switch the topic real quick. Best cheesesteak in Philly.
All right. Well, if you know or don't know, I might be a little tiny biased, although I truly, truly mean this with my heart. My favorite cheesesteak is Skinny Joey's.
Okay.
Skinny Joey's. I don't know them personally, but I have gotten to meet multiple times Joey Merlino and Snuff over these last few months, and I've done a lot of content there. And I love the cheesesteak. It's my favorite cheesesteak. I've tried a lot of them. I've tried probably the top 3 or 4 popular ones, but I would say Skinny Joey's is still my favorite, especially because of their bread. They use these Aversa the seeded roll, and it's just out of this freaking world, man. It's just
Yeah,
unbelievable.
they're hot right now, bro. Everybody's talking about Skinny Joey's. I haven't been
Yeah,
there yet.
yeah,
That's the first stop I'm making when I go to Philly this
you
season.
got to
First
try it
stop I'm
out.
making is Skinny Joey's, and it's close to the stadium, right?
Yes, you got to try it out. It is close to the stadium. It's within walking distance of the stadium. I have tried. Yes, I've tried like the touristy, like Pat's and Geno's and all that. And I don't think they compare to like authentic. Yeah, they don't compare to like a Skinny Joey's or an Angelo's or
Oh, I love Angelo's.
yeah.
Have you been to D'Alessandro's before?
No, well, I was about to say the 2 places that I have not tried yet that I need to try are D'Alessandro's and Jim's. I don't know if you've heard of
Jim
Jim's. Yeah,
Steaks. Jim
Jim's.
Steaks. I know
Yeah,
they had closed. I know they came back. I know like there was a lot of stuff. I never tried them either.
yeah.
Have you ever tried the franchise one, Cleavers?
Cleavers.
Yeah, that's like a new franchise thing in Philly. I've heard they're pretty decent out there too. There's another one.
Cleavers. No, I haven't. No, I
There's
have to
so
try.
many. There's so many. Angelo's is definitely my favorite. Angelo's Pizza got
Yeah,
it, but Skinny Joey's is where I gotta try.
yeah,
Everybody's talking about Skinny Joey's.
yeah. Well, both places you're gonna always be waiting, but like Angelo's, like I'm sure you know, like you can't just like go there and expect to pick up a cheesesteak
No,
within
you
five
can't. No,
minutes.
no,
Like,
you gotta wait. Usually, yeah, it's not. It doesn't work. Like the line wraps around,
yeah,
long
and
line,
same with
tight
Skinny
block.
Joey's actually. Yeah, they become so social media popular that like there's always people there. And when I'm in line, a lot of times I'm there, there's always people asking like, "Is Snuff here?" or like, "Where's Joey?" or like they see the podcast guys and like, oh, those are the ones with the cheesesteak. Like everybody hears about them
Yeah,
online with the cheesesteak stop. So they're
yeah.
doing well. But I do like their cheesesteak. It's really not just personal. I think they have a really good product.
Yeah, I think there's a little cheesesteak war going on too, because I don't know what is
There
it. One
is,
of the
yeah.
guys from Pads here, he was talking about don't chop up the
They
steak.
hate each other.
Like,
I think right now it's
yeah,
on site. Yeah.
it's some serious stuff going on it. But listen, I hope it don't pop off over food. That's all I gotta say.
I know,
Um,
right? It ain't that
um,
serious, bro.
it ain't that serious, bro. Like we talking about chop steak here now.
Yeah.
You gave me your favorite Eagles player. Give me your favorite Eagles moment, like as a play. Like, what's a favorite player, a play that you just always your favorite play or moment?
Oh, okay. Mildly easy, I guess. I would have to say the Deshaun Jackson punt return against the Giants. Um,
Nice.
I yes, I remember where I was watching that moment. I was not there. That game was played in MetLife Stadium, but I remember being at home watching that when I was like 12, 13, 14 years old, I think I was, and I just remember first off, I was watching the whole game, so like I lived the whole comeback of the game, not just the moment, right? And then when the moment happened, it was like just that adrenaline, hair on your skin just stands up. It was just so surreal. Of course, the Philly special was also another moment. You know, the Super
Yeah,
Bowl was
yeah,
incredible, and being with my family to watch that. But like just like one specific moment because that Deshaun Jackson punt return won the game. It kept them in playoff contention that year. It was like the best chance I thought like during that season, during that time, that era that like the Mike Vick, Shady McCoy, Jeremy Maclin, Deshaun Jackson
yeah. Oh,
team,
I
like
missed those times.
yeah, that
The
was
team
like
that
that was
never
part
got
of our
one, man.
childhood, right?
I missed that,
Yeah.
man.
And I felt like that moment was just like that was it. And like we didn't have a Super Bowl at that time, so like that feeling of like triumph and like victory was like in a freaking punt return in a regular season game because
Yeah.
we didn't have a Lombardi celebration to celebrate or the championship whatever. But yeah, I would say the Deshaun Jackson punt return and then actually when anything from Super Bowl 52 would have to count because it was just so historic too, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
that was a good night.
yeah.
I remember not being able to sleep. I remember waking up damn near in my jersey. I was just until this day, Super Bowl 52 is just like
Yeah.
it's like they beat Brady who threw for 500 yards in a game and they still won.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, just think about it. Our team took down two goats. You got Mahomes
Yeah.
down there, and you got and both of them beat them previously, which is it makes the story even crazier. So the one day we'll see a crazy documentary about that, how the Eagles fell to these franchises and then ended up beating them.
Yeah.
Um, Especially the revenge for Super Bowl 57, man. As a sports fan, and that's probably my most sweetest revenge moment. Like being able to beat the Chiefs and in the form of how they beat the Chiefs is just crazy.
Yeah, yeah, because you're right. It was two different extremes. You had the extreme low. I'll never forget after that Super Bowl 57, just the heartbreak that morning after. I felt like my whole family passed away, right? Like it was so depressing when they called that James Bradbury holding call and we lost that game. It was bullshit, right? Just bullshit. And then we had the collapse the next season and like we were at like our lowest point, it felt like. And then when they finally did beat their ass in the Super Bowl this past year, I mean, it was just so satisfying, you know?
We rode a roller coaster the last three. If you look at the last three seasons, you went from the highest, then to the lowest, and then back to the highest. And we're
Right.
trying to maintain it. So I really like the current state of the team. What's your thought of Jalen Hurts as an Eagles fan? I like to ask Eagle fans this because
Yeah.
people think of him different. What do you think of Jalen Hurts?
Well, I'll tell you what. When he was first drafted, I was a little skeptical of him. When he was first drafted, I'm talking like during the COVID era. Uh,
Hmm.
I was skeptical of him. I was like, why are they drafting him in the second round? I mean, I thought he was okay as a prospect, but I'm like, we had a quarterback at the time, and I'll self admit I was wrong about everything, but I was like, why are we? I was skeptical, but now I can't even imagine anybody else as our quarterback. I mean, he is
Absolutely.
he is he is somebody that I have so much trust. Like when I just see him, just his aura when he's just out there warming up and just like in the tunnel or just like there's some calmness about him. I'm sure you would agree, like everybody kind of sees with
Yeah,
him. Like there's a calmness. He's like this calm killer kind of. And
that's true.
he just wants to win. And I love that all he does, I'm an Eagles fan, is win. I understand from the aesthetic point of view, people, and I'm a big pass guy. I would like Jalen Hurts to pass for 412 yards. That'd be kind of cool, right? I'd like for
That'd be
Jalen
cool.
Hurts to pass for 300 yards, but I don't care. I don't care if he doesn't do that. I want him to keep winning the games. By the way, I don't have him this year. Last year I had him in fantasy. He's a fantasy nightmare. He's always scoring
Man,
rushing touchdowns. He's
yeah,
he's a dual threat quarterback, and he's a winner. And I think he's a great quarterback. He's a very good thrower. Um, you know, a lot of times, the hate on Jalen Hurts right now and the disrespect is just kind of it's not even real. It's like it started with somebody or something somewhere, and then just people just kind of like took off, and it's almost like now you just have to like just hate on Jalen Hurts for some reason. But there's
like
really
by
by
default, you just gotta
default,
not
yeah.
like the guy.
So
It sucks.
like for example, he might go for 450 yards and four touchdowns passing this week, and maybe they lose the game 29-28, which they won't, but maybe they did, right? And then it's like they would talk about how like it doesn't matter what his stats are, he got to win the game. And it's like that's what we're saying right now is like it doesn't matter what his stats are, he's
Hmm.
winning the game. So it's like you can't have it both ways. I just I don't know why he gets all this hate. It's undeserved. And I
Undeserved.
I, I love Jalen Hurts. I think he's the perfect quarterback for us. He's a champion, and trust me, 10 years from now, he will be a multiple Super Bowl champion.
I agree with that, Justin. We're gonna clip that because we're gonna definitely go back to that. Carson Wentz wasn't made for Philly, so when they drafted Jalen Hurts, I'm not gonna lie, just like I was extremely confused. I'm like, here we go. I actually, for the first time as an Eagles fan, questioned Howie seriously. Like, Howie, we just finished a quarterback like carousel with Nick for you picked
Right.
Carson Wentz.
Right.
Now we're about to start this again.
Right.
But then as the writing was on the wall because as the season progressed, Carson was getting worse and he was throwing more picks. And so these
Yeah.
are things that Howie and them saw behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
when he came in that Green Bay game and he pushed the ball up the field to Greg Ward, I said, Carson, was that hard? So Carson's confidence was shot. Philly got to him. He wasn't the man for Philly. Jalen Hurts definitely is the man for Philadelphia. All in.
Yeah, I remember that game. He had the old number 2 on his jersey. Remember, he was
Yeah,
number
the number
2?
2, wearing the white
Yeah.
with the blue. It's funny. I have an autographed 16 by 20 photo of
I
Jalen
was
Hurts
just
wearing
about to
that.
say, if people have the number 2, for some reason, that's like more valuable now. Like,
Oh, you can't find it. If you find it,
yeah,
it's hella money. Yes, whoever has it is a true believer. I'm not gonna lie. I have his autographed photo wearing the number 2, and bro, I bought that photo for about $90. Like it was almost compared to what you find for his autograph now.
yeah.
Like if I go back and show you what I paid for, you'll be like, no way.
It ain't worth $90 now.
It
That's
ain't
all
worth
I know.
$90 now, yeah. And it's a 16 by 20. He's wearing the white uniform with the blue and yellow cleats. And I remember him pushing the ball up the field. I remember him and Slay had a good conversation, and Slay brought it up on one of these shows. He said Jalen came into camp and knew he was better than Carson. Like he kept telling people, I'm better than them, and I'm gonna take that job, and he did it. So kudos to Jalen, man. I'm happy with Jalen. I don't know how any Eagles fan could not be happy with Jalen, but there's still some out there that I don't know what tea they're sipping on. Seriously. Another question I got for you, bro. Who's your cameraman?
Well, most of the time, obviously, it's me. I do a lot of the videos myself. But I know what you're probably referring to is like third
Yeah, who
point of view
records
shots.
you?
It varies. There's not. Let me give you the direct answer. There's not one person.
There's
There's
one
not.
person.
I don't have a cameraman or like a specific person or a brother or a cousin that I bring to all my events that does that. I'll give you examples. Like sometimes if it be maybe my dad comes with me and I'll have him record it. Maybe it'll be my friends from the event specific to who I'm going to. So like I'm really good friends with Justin Brown, who does JB Sports Ventures, a guy who's very well connected in the industry as well, and he'll record some of the videos of me interacting. I've had just people that I'll just ask strangers at some of these places to record me.
Yeah.
So
That's what I've done too at Autograph. The guy right behind me, I was like, dude, you mind getting a photo of me?
yeah. So when you see the shots that aren't me from my point of view, it's always it's either a family member or a friend or somebody that I've just asked in the moment there.
You asked in the moment. That's cool. That's good. No, because you always seem to get good angles, good shots. I don't know if it was the same person, but it's
Yeah.
just consistently
And that's
like
and I appreciate that. That's all me now because I it's kind of funny, but it is me. It's me kind of now thinking outside the box, like trying to like so like when I go to these events, I know you see my montages I make, like where I make like music and montages like post event.
yeah.
I'll plan out the montages before I even go to the event. So like when I'm already there, if I see an opportunity just for a 3 seconds of me walking into the stadium and then me flipping it where I'm holding my phone in the stadium, I'll have somebody record like 3 seconds of me walking in, like while I'm there, and then like I'm just
Yeah,
starting to
that's
think
great.
like content wise, a lot of the shots of me being recorded by somebody, I just think is more I don't know, just more visually appealing, I guess.
Yeah, no, you got it, bro, with the content. Cause so you're like on the learning on the fly. That's kind of how we started. We started, doing this. It was just on the fly and little by little. You're the third interview I've done. This is not the first one, so I'm not as nervous as the first time I did it. But I'm always still nervous to do this and question you. And
Oh,
I
you're
don't
doing a
want to.
great job, dude. Great job.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I have my little notes over here, so I have everything written down. I've studied your page a lot. Like I said, I've been following you since you pretty much first started. I just remember one night I woke up and I had a bunch of likes, and I was like, I clicked this guy's page. You started following, and it was you. And it's like does this guy work for the team? And you were in the car with Slay, and you were here, and I'm like, guy's coming out of the tunnel. Like I was just, it was a lot, and I was like, okay. And we started talking, and I started seeing your personality. Started telling me like, dude, I actually don't work for the team. I was under full impression that you were some type of cousin of a cousin or Big Dom's neighbor or something, or something went on where you had a connection to the Eagles because you're just always in the loop, bro.
Well, what's the old expression, Jay? Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, fake it till you make it, right?
I mean, look, dude, I am trying to be a part of the Eagles. They are following me. There's coaches and players, former and current, that follow me now.
And
And
a
I
lot of
just,
them view you too. They view your
yes,
stories. I see when
yes.
you post that, they all view it.
And I do not have a paycheck by the Philadelphia Eagles. I am just a fan. I'll tell you right now, to anybody watching and to you yourself right here, I pay money to go to some of these events, not all of them.
Absolutely.
I save up hard-earned money and pay it out of pocket to go to these events because it's really truly what I love to do. And the content's second. It's number one for like myself as a fan, and then the content is second because I love the content because I get to give other fans that feeling and experience that I've been blessed and fortunate enough to, have at these events. And I know there's fans that Eagle fans living in San Diego or Eagle fans living in Miami, Florida that don't get to come up here and experience this and stuff.
That's
So
what's up. That's
that's
what's
why I
up.
posted a lot of the times, because I don't really, truly care like how many views or likes a certain post gets. I just like the engage. I like what's fun to me and what's really cool about it is just like we're a community of Eagle fans, and I just like sharing Eagle moments to other Eagle fans, and just however the community takes that is how they take that.
That's the best part about your content creation, that it's almost natural. You're creating the content because this is over. You already was doing it. You might as well pull the camera out. You already were going to these shows. You were already getting these moments. So it's pretty cool how you got into this space. I definitely consider you one of the hottest Eagle content creators on the web right now. And everybody
Thank you.
could agree with that. Everybody, your comments, everybody knows that. You're just climbing the ranks, bro. You're up there with them for sure, for sure.
Thank
Just
you.
a couple more questions before we leave. How do you feel about Nick Sirianni?
Oh, I love Nick Sirianni. Well, once again, of course, I was a little skeptical. Well, when they first hired him, I kind of liked it, and then I saw that opening press conference with the flowers and the growing roots, and I went, "Oh my God, what do we
This is
get
gonna be a
ourselves
disaster.
into?"
Yeah,
Yeah, this was like
I
years
was the
ago,
same
and
thought. Same thought. Same thought.
yeah, I was like, dude, what is going on, dude? Because that's how a lot of Eagle fans. And then when they had the 0 and 2, and then they had the collapse in 2023, and then the 0 and 2 start last year, or the I mean, I'm sorry, the 1 and 1 start, whatever. They started something bad last year. I just remember there was all that chatter about Sirianni, and I was not on the board about firing him at that moment, but I was totally listening to people complain about him because I was like starting to get sick of him at this moment too. But I feel totally different about him now. Like I feel like he's the guy for Philadelphia. He kind of fits the personality of the city, if you just know what I mean. I don't know how to
Yeah, a
explain
little.
it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know a lot of Philadelphians. He's a little.
Yeah.
He has that nonchalant, chill back,
Yeah.
relax, a little
Yeah.
jokey with him. Not too
And he
serious. Not too. You know.
yeah, and everything I've actually had a chance to meet him about I think twice. He's super nice, amazingly nice guy. I can't he's winning games for us. And I think X's and O's. I think maybe he's maybe right now a little underrated. I think everybody just thinks he's kind of this. Oh, it's his coordinators, or he's just kind of the eccentric, dramatic coach that's not really like an X's and O's guys. But I beg to differ. I think he's proven over these last few years that he obviously must know what he's doing to some extent. Yeah, he might have good coordinators, but like right now, nobody's really high on Kevin Patullo, and they're finding ways to just grind out these wins. So, and also that's the other thing is that the Eagles have been winning consistently for 4+ years with Sirianni as the coach, but they've had a lot of
Absolutely.
they've had a lot of different coordinators come in. So if they have different coordinators coming in, you need a head coach who can maintain some type of order, right? And maybe he's not a Bill Belichick or an Andy Reid with the X's and O's, but he's he's a damn good coach, and the players play for him. And like, as you know, with Doug Peterson, if you have a guy that players want to play for, and like they'll go to war with, and like all the cliches and all that, like that's all that matters, really.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Because Dan Orlovsky, I know he's always says he has wild takes. He said he thinks that Jalen and Nick Sirianni have a Belichick Brady relationship brewing, because he said they just do things that are Brady esque and Belichick esque. Like they're just working together. So I agree with that. They've been winning under him. They
Yeah.
had the collapse, and for him to go through the collapse, go through the Super Bowl loss, and still man the ship and get all these good personalities and tough, big personalities in one room and get them all on the same page, he deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good point. I think the most similarities between Belichick, Brady, and Sirianni and Hurts is that like both kind of styles. I mean, Brady's not a runner like Hurts, but I'm saying they manage the games kind of
Yeah, I
the
saw.
way.
Yeah, yeah,
They
for
manage the
sure.
games and they win the games kind of the same way. So there's definitely some feeling of comfort and trust, knowing like you had that feeling when you saw Brady and Belichick, and you kind of have that feeling with Hurts and Sirianni right now.
Yeah, I had that feeling when I look at it, not just because they are our quarterback and our head coach, or just looking at them like, bro, I
Yeah,
feel like we're just, what does it feel like to lose? I also don't want to feel like how it felt in 2023 when we were just skimming by and getting through wins. I want to just,
yeah.
get some definitive wins. But we're gonna see how. You ready for the Rams on Sunday? You're gonna be there, right?
Yes, sir. I am going to the game. I actually just I'm not a season ticket holder. So let me
That's what
start
I
by
was about
saying
to
that.
ask you
Yeah,
next. I was
yeah, I'm
about to
not a
ask you
season
that
ticket holder.
next.
No, no, I'm not. But I do go to multiple games a year, and this year I'm off to a hot start. I was at the opener, and I'll be at the Rams game this coming Sunday.
Nice, nice. And you sit pretty good. You sat in a good section the last time. You have good seats, so I'm pretty sure you enjoy that. Do you tailgate before the game?
Oh yeah, yeah. I like the tailgate. During the opener was a lot of fun. It was by the way, just for all the viewers out there and stuff, the opener tailgate and the opener itself was just unbelievably crazy. Just crazy down there. I mean,
That's what's
traffic,
up.
the vibes, the people. It was just craziness. The energy was through the roof. But yeah, I like the tailgate. Good tailgate spots. Obviously, all the parking lots kind of have their own little subculture. Like the H lots and like the lots over kind of by the now it's not the Wells Fargo Center anymore, the Xfinity Mobile Arena over
Yeah,
by
they
the
changed
H
the
lots
name.
area. That's where you see a lot of like Philly Sports Trip does good tailgates there. A lot of my buddies have some tailgates there. Hugh Douglas did the Hugh Douglas tailgate experience there during the opener, so they do a lot of cool tailgates in those parking lots. And then of course Xfinity Live, well now Stateside Live is always good, and there's always a pop and tailgate if you just know where to look.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of places over there in Philly. Tailgating is part of the game. It's like you can't go to the game without tailgating. Yeah,
No,
Justin, I asked you pretty much most of the questions I wanted to ask you. Before we get out of here, I want you to let everybody know where they can find you, and just let everybody know your handles and everything. Where can they find
uh, I appreciate that. So I do actually have well, my main thing is Instagram. Like I mentioned, I'm on Instagram. But all lowercase. Justin underscore Fiorillo. Fiorillo 94 is my Instagram. I do have a YouTube page where I do post a lot of cool stuff on there, but it's relatively new and I don't have as many posts on there. But the YouTube page is the Eagles Wingman is my name for that. So
Nice, nice. The Eagles
yeah,
win, man. Go send
yeah,
go send him a follow and a like everything. Subscribe to his
I
page.
appreciate
Everybody,
that.
please.
Yeah.
I need you guys to go out there. If you haven't seen his content, I promise you're not gonna be disappointed. You're gonna binge on his content once you get to his page. I promise you that.
I appreciate that. And hey, look, I'm assuming a lot of your viewers already do, but if you guys aren't following Jay and what the guys are doing at the Eagles Collective podcast and whatnot, you got to check them out too because we're a community. We stick together and they have some really quality stuff. I've watched a lot of your videos, a lot of your pages. I watched the conversation. We had the pre-show meeting yesterday, and you guys were
Yeah.
talking about the offense and a lot of good debate, a lot of good conversation. The whole squad. So you guys follow you guys too.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Like, we're gonna meet up some point during the season. We're gonna end up creating some stuff, so don't worry. We got more for the viewers and everything. I
Yep,
appreciate
yep. This is
everybody
just the start. This
tuning
is
in.
just the
This is
start.
just the start, just the beginning, bro. I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Justin was a great guest. We'll be back, man. This is not the first time, just the beginning.
Absolutely. And if we're gonna end it, there's only one thing I can end it with. Go
Go
birds.
Birds.
Go birds, my man.